Hello guys, welcome back once again, it's me GM Samurai, and today we're reviewing the game between Carlsen Magnus and Wely Loek, which was played in Tata Masters in Weekend Z in 2017. So Carlsen had white pieces, and he started with e4, c5, knight f3, e6, and we have the Sicilian defense, Paulsen variation, knight f6, knight c3, d6, and now Carlsen goes for the idea of g4 right here. h6, bishop to g2, knight c6, h3, g5, and now Carlsen decided to take on c6 and go for the e5, which is a very good idea. So Wely doesn't take, because if he takes, he actually can't take, because if he takes, then the pawn is hanging. So he needs to play knight d5, which was played. Takes, queen takes, castles kingside, bishop a6 attacking the rook, rook e1, bishop e7, and now knight to e4 attacking the queen, queen c7 back, c4 attacking the knight, knight b4, b3, and the bishop, queen f3, and because the bishop will come to this diagonal and will be very strong, so that's why black gave their knight for this bishop, because it looks like it's not actually normal, because you give your knight, which made a lot of moves over the board, and you give it for this bishop that hasn't done any move, but because this bishop will become very strong, so that's why then you give your knight for the bishop. So takes, now queen f4, and now rook takes, bishop takes, queen takes, g takes, and now white is slightly better because the pawn structure is better for them, and also the knight is very good. It can jump in good squares. The rook is gonna get the file right now. The bishop is very strong, so white is actually better, and here the black bishop is not that good. The white square bishop is not that good, so apparently white is actually better. So knight c5, bishop c8, and now takes. Here, yeah, white managed to take also to win the pawns on c6. So bishop f3, bishop b6, knight d3, attacking the pawn, rook d8, and now knight d4. Carlsen didn't take on f4 because there is rook d2, and yeah, comes to the 7th rank. Now there are some problems with the f2 and the a2, so Carlsen plays knight b4, protecting the a2 pawn. So bishop d7, c5 protecting the bishop, bishop a5, now rook c4 protecting the knight, rook c8, c6, and now takes, rook b7. No, rook takes f4, taking the pawn on f4. Because when I was watching the game, I thought about this move, rook b7 check. I was not sure what is going on after this, but I think Carlsen played right, because right now here, but black can play f3, and then there are some problems with the king. Alright, and then the f2 pawn will be taken by the rook, so apparently it's not that good. So I think Carlsen played very well with the move rook takes f4. So a5, king g2, rook c5, h4, rook d5, king f3, f6, king d3, h5 right now, f3, very good move. So now white also have passed pawn on the h file, which is a big advantage. So rook d1, rook a4 taking the pawn, check, and protecting the pawn, rook c4, rook d5, and now h5, rook d2, rook a4, rook d5, king d3, protecting the square to avoid the rook coming there again, rook g5, rook c4, and now king b6. So now king f4 and rook d5, and now Carlsen played the right move, which right now after rook c8 here, this move white is winning right now. So check, king g3, Carlsen finds the best moves, rook a8, because now this rook is protecting the square for the pawn to come and promote to queen, so that's the point of the rook on the last, so the 8th rank. So check, king g2, check, king f3, and coming towards the rook. So now the rook is under attack. Rook h3, protecting the pawn and not allowing the pawn promote to queen. Rook a5, take the pawn, as you see here. So now white are 2 pawns up and has from the 2 sides, and the king side and the queen side have 2 pawns to promote. e5, king f5, check, king g6, and now the pawn will promote and you can't do anything at all, because right now just check and rook a8, and Wely resigned right in this position. So yeah, let's see the endgame again. So as you saw in the endgame, let's start from this point when Carlsen took the pawn on f4. So here, as you see, white are a pawn up, so it is they are surely better. So king g2, rook c5, so right move h4, rook d5, king f3, and now maybe I think somewhere here black made the mistake and left this pawn, yeah, which I'm showing you right now, left the pawn to be just passed pawn, but I think that was the first mistake with black. Then rook d1 attack, and now whites attack the pawn, so black need to go back. They can't give any other checks, because then they will not manage to protect the pawn, because this square is secured by the pawn. So apparently rook e5 right here, and now yeah, rook c4, rook d5, h5, and now here this move is very good, avoiding the rook coming there, as we said. Rook g5, rook c4, and now here, and now I was following the game, and all the other moves were +2 from Stockfish, but only the move, yeah, rook c8 was what we should, oh, not right here, yeah, right here. So here, yeah, rook c8 was the only move that was +4. So that's why it was the best move, and Carlsen found it. So check, king g3, rook, king d7, and now rook a8. Yeah, the rook is securing this square, as you see on h8 for the pawn to promote to a queen, and also attacks the pawn on a5. So now black's position is very difficult. So check, back, check, and king is coming towards the king to rook h3, and now just takes a5. Black can't protect everything. King f5, the king is coming, also helping the pawn to promote, and now he's just losing. If here something like that, I think, let's think together. I think white needs to win. White needs to win this. They need to have a mate somewhere. Let's find it. Yeah, there is a mate. Check right there. Yeah, if he goes down right here, check there. And if he goes queen e7, then there is check right there. And if he goes up, I think there's just a check right there. So something is gonna fall, but also white is just 2 pawns up, so that's actually winning for white. They just need to change everything, and they are actually winning. So well, the game was played rook h3, and now the move is just check and rook a8, and right now white also can come with the rook on the e8 square and avoid the black pawn to promote the queen. So you see that the first mistake of black here, when they actually left the pawn to left the pawn to become passed pawn, that was the first mistake of black, and that was the mistake that cost them the game, because of this pawn. Because of this pawn, they actually lost the whole game. Because as you see here, is this pawn which is promotes a queen, and you can't do anything. So yeah, as you see, Carlsen won a very good endgame game. Carlsen has very good skills at endgames, which he actually show us once again in this game. So yeah guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. Like the video if you enjoyed, subscribe to my channel to never miss a video, and yeah, see you in the next video guys. Peace.